Hello and welcome to Sports360az.com. Tonight we are live streaming the varsity soccer game at Basha High School.
This game is going between Basha High School and Mesquite High, and I'm Maxwell Parisi.
And I'm Nick Pfeiffer.
I think we have quite a game in store for us tonight. What do you think, Nick?
I think it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Mesquite, coming with a previous victory last week, was looking pretty solid.
Yeah, against Highland, so there's maybe still have some momentum from that. But they are at a disadvantage because their all-district center back, Booth, number 15, is out.
Yeah, that might be a detrimental loss to the team. She is one of their star players, and the Basha girls have had a very good week at practice, so let's hope that we have a solid performance by all the girls and we have a very good game tonight.
All right, now let's get ready for our national anthem. And that was another beautiful devotion to our nation's glory by Basha High School. Now let's get ready for the game. So, Nick, if you had to predict the winner right now for the saw anything, what would you say?
Well, I'd of course like to say Basha as a fellow Basha student, but who knows? Games can so easily be swayed. One play can change the momentum of a game for the rest of the night.
I think it's definitely going to be close, though.
Yeah, especially as we said earlier with Mesquite's best player, or one of their best players being out at the moment. We'll see how the team works together as one unit and see if they can still manage everything and see if they're still just as productive.
So before we even go to the game, what would you say some are Mesquite's strengths?
Mesquite's strengths. Well, from watching their last game, they're a very aggressive team, and it seems like the girls are going to be pushing very hard all night on the Basha defense. But Basha defense is, as we know, very strong, and their goalie, who is, number 1, Humphreys. Humphreys being Basha's goalie tonight, we'll see what kind of performance she can put up.
Yeah, and Jarszewski, the Mesquite goalie, is also very talented, so should prove to be a very interesting game.
As we are about to get into the final moments and the starting of the game, the girls are preparing to get onto the field.
And Basha takes the field. Getting goosebumps. I don't know about you, Nick.
What can I say? It's gonna be a thriller for sure. The skill level. And we are getting into the beginning of the game. We are about to be getting to what's it called? When the touch off?
Touch-off, kickoff, I believe.
No.
Kickoff's football, isn't it?
Yeah, but what do we call it for soccer?
Well, regardless of what it's called, at the line we got number 13 on Mesquite, who is Cameron Larson.
Ooh, and a nasty fall from Mesquite player
get her number.
I can't. Yeah, she's still down on her knees. It looked like she went up for the ball with one of the Basha players and just came straight down on her gut. I mean, I can tell you from previous experience, those are some painful falls, and I hope she's okay. Sports trainers are on the field.
Shame. It's kind of destroyed the momentum right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that this doesn't stop Mesquite from getting the build up and getting the hype.
Well, let's just hope she's okay overall.
I think she's gonna be fine. I think she just got the wind knocked out of her. I know what that's like. It's never fun, but she should be okay.
The adrenaline builds up. I mean, so it must have just caught her off guard.
It's really hard to differentiate their numbers from the front.
And that was
number 10 from Mesquite Weld. As she walks off the field, we wish her a speedy recovery, and hopefully she can get back into the game.
Get well, Miss
Weld.
With Miss Weld.
Number 21, our camp coming in to take her place on the field. Let's get this game going.
So I'd just like to take a moment to point out the sorority I've noticed between the girls of Basha. Quite a close-knit team, wouldn't you say, Nick?
Well, I don't know them too well, but from seeing them at school every day, they seem like a close-knit group who really work hard, and they're at practice every day busting their butts. So I wish them the best of luck, and let's get a victory tonight.
Just like sisters. All right, and we're back. Number 11, Miss Jaden Green fights for the ball, and
Mesquite with now with possession. A little bit of a mix-up in the middle of the field. Number 21. Oh, nope. Now in the possession of the Basha girls, nope. Mesquite I cannot see. Number 13. Pushing down at the goal line, but Basha defense kicks it right out of bounds.
Kind of a slow start.
Yeah, but I mean that fall definitely might have put a little bit of a standstill on the momentum, but things are building up again. Mesquite's definitely, like I said before, an aggressive team right off the bat in Basha's backyard at the beginning of the game. Let's see if Basha can push them back towards the middle.
Yeah. It's just it goes for any sport. Little interruptions like that. No way that the injured girl is to blame. Oh,
and there's the ball right by the goal just got kicked out, but it was almost in Basha's goal.
A little bit more aggression. That's always good to see, huh?
Yeah, but I honestly couldn't even see it. There's just legs everywhere. Girls kicking and
quite a scramble.
Yeah. Okay, as Basha's number 1, Humphreys about to kick the ball back into play.
As the lull begins to end.
Basha's number 11, Green, with possession of the ball, back out of bounds. The ball.
And Mesquite has the ball again.
Pushing up the field.
Towards the goal.
I don't see any defenders on her. Oh, we have a defender sneaking up from behind.
Number 6, Hannah Householder.
Good pressure by the defense, putting them on their toes.
Yeah, Basha's definitely going to make them fight for it.
Now let's see if we can get Basha's offense and their aggressive players to start pushing the ball forward.
Haven't really had a shot at that end of the field yet.
Well, we haven't even, like you said, we haven't even really made it that far. The forwards need to get more possession of the ball on Basha's side.
And there's the throw.
Okay, number 2 with a lob. Oh, and a kick to the back of the head.
Looks like we're starting to make some progress.
Okay, Mesquite definitely dominating the beginning of this game so far with ball control, but
Basha's playing good defense.
Basha is playing good defense, something we all know to be very important. Basha taking control right now, moving up. Nope, and it's back on Basha's turf.
Let's just hope they get
Let's hope they can build some momentum like the Mesquite girls.
Just hope they get a shot at a good offensive streak, huh?
Okay, number 22 on Basha's
And it's
side.
out.
Lamb putting up some good pressure on Mesquite's girl. We're now going to be, not a corner kick, but near the corner on Basha's side.
And we're close to about 5 minutes into the game, so we still have a lot to go. Both teams fighting to set the first note in this.
Somebody just wants to make something happen. It's obvious, but I haven't seen anybody try to make an attempt for the goal except for the one mix up right towards the beginning. But let's see what happens right now as the Mesquite girl is about to kick a corner kick. The ball's up in the air and
That was close.
it's out.
So you ever play any soccer, Nick?
I mean, I played soccer back in the day when I was a little kid. Played actually in the area for Legacy. My sister, though, she was the real soccer player in the family. So I've definitely been in my fair share of games. Soccer can be a really intense and competitive sport. So I'm hoping that this game proves to be what I expected and what everybody wants to see in a really good game.
Especially for women's soccer.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think they can get as aggressive as they do.
They kind of Mesquite's fighting for the ball, aiming towards the goal.
Basha taking possession, kicking it out of bounds right away. I wish that we could see some more ball possession from Basha. It seems like defense is just kicking it straight out of bounds, which can be effective, but we need to see some ball movement.
Oh,
there we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Don't think the balls have been that far before. And it's out.
But at least we have some different position in the game. Now we are down on Mesquite's side. Mesquite is tossing it back in. I can't even see.
Mesquite tosses back in.
Number 23, Williams tossing it back in. The ball is in play in the middle of the field. Oh, we have a lob kick. Now it is on Mesquite's side. Goalie taking possession. Now who is Mesquite's goalie?
Our goalie for Mesquite is Darshwinski.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Darshwinski with a nice save. First play of the game.
Closest that the ball's ever been to that side of the field, though.
By far. Okay, and we have a breakthrough on the Basha side. Number 24, or no, number 21. No.
Regardless of number, Basha
Regardless
is
of number,
definitely
Basha making a
toward-
drive down the line. Ball is now on Mesquite's side.
Look out, ref.
They always seem to be in the way, don't they?
More ways than one.
Ball back on Basha's side.
Oh, that'd be a shame.
Number
Oh.
13 taking it.
And it's in.
It is in. Mesquite with their first goal of the night. Who was that? Let's find out who just made that goal. Number Mesquite. Just the jerseys, are not clearly
they're
visible.
trying to hide them from us, aren't they?
I know. It's like they're trying to make us look dumb over here.
Well,
Okay.
thank you, but we don't really need the help.
Number 13 or 3? You think that's number 13?
Yeah,
no. Looks like. Okay, I'm about to see it.
Number
Yes,
13.
number 13.
Alea Cargasco.
No, that's Bash's number 13.
Oh.
Mesquite's 13.
Larson.
Scoring the goal. Now we're back at the ball's back in play. Mesquite with possession of the ball again, taking it down Bash's side. I really want to see a change in pace. It seems like Mesquite got even more intense after the injury at the beginning of the game. Wouldn't you say?
I would say, but I feel that now since we do have a goal and the tempo's going to start to pick up, Basha's going to start realizing
Feeling the pressure.
that they are fighting this battle uphill now.
Yeah.
So, and so early in the game, it's about 33 minutes.
It can go. It
left
can
in
go
the-
anyway
in
at
the
this
half.
point.
Just hope
Basha
that was
throwing the ball back in. Let's see who can get possession.
Might have just been the motivator they need.
Uh,
Good headbutt.
head ball. And a nice lob towards Mesquite's side. Let's see if we can get a play off of it. Number
Seems as though it'll be
4
immediately
trying to take
recovered.
possession. Number 4, Dahlin seems to be getting most of the action down on the Mesquite side for Basha. So let's see if she can be an effective player for tonight and make something happen.
To repeat once again, it is Bears 0 and Mesquite 1 with 32 minutes left in the game. There's a 7. Boucher throwing it in.
Mesquite quickly taking it out, kicking the ball towards the middle. See, if Basha could just do what Mesquite was doing in the way that once they're kicking the ball away from their turf and their territory, at least keep the ball back in play. Don't kick it out of bounds every time. That's how they're making their plays off the ball.
Gotta say, this is the Basha team I'm not really used to seeing. I'm used to seeing a lot more heart than this.
Well, let's give it some time. The pace is just building. They just need to get into their rhythm.
Feel that's kind of been the theme of this game so far, just an interrupted rhythm.
Right? And here, probably the 40th toss-in of the game. Ball just keeps on seeming to go out. Mesquite with possession of the ball, number 23, Williams. About to be doing a lob kick to midfield. And the ball is off. Number 5 quickly making a play on the ball. Basha pushing it back onto Mesquite's side.
Looks like it'll be a speedy recovery by Mesquite. That was a loud kick, heard it all the way from up here in the box. These girls are definitely playing with all their might.
They're not holding back, I'll tell you that. Running into each other left and right. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some elbows being thrown.
I bet the refs would.
Refs just seem to be getting in the way, but, you know.
Well, they do have an important part to play.
And another.
And Basha gets denied a chance at scoring once again.
Mesquite goalie with another kick down the field. Let's see if we can get some actual play time.
Good headbutt by number 6 on Basha, Hannah Household.
Hannah Household, she's definitely been one of the effective key players on Basha's team this season and last season. I've known her as a friend and as an athlete, and she is a dedicated soccer player, so I wish her the best of luck in tonight's game. Let's see if she can get something going. But, like I said earlier, Basha's number 4, Larson, taking possession of the ball again. Looks like she's going to be one of Basha's aggressors tonight, really trying to get the ball in. I wish her the best of luck because Mesquite making it in right off the bat, as we said. Mesquite 1, Basha 0.
It seems like the focus of the game has definitely shifted. Now we're seeing a lot more on Basha's goal side, so...
The focus of the game just seems to be in and out and in and out. See if we can keep this ball in play for a while. Ball inching towards Basha's goal line. Let's see what girl can make a play on. Basha's defender, number 11, Green.
Lauren Hatchett's just been...
Lauren Hatchett and Green have just been making very important stops on the ball tonight and keeping the score, well, I mean, as low as it can be at the moment, considering it is 1-0.
Yeah, keeping an eye on another number 11, Lauren Hatchett. She definitely is taking a great defensive position in this game. She's definitely found her niche, and she's making it work for her. Definitely a strong player. And Mesquite gains control of the ball, kicks it back to Hatchett as a player I was just referring to, and it's out.
It doesn't seem like the Basha girls are moving as a unit. I see more of individuals playing at the moment, and it's sad to watch because the Mesquite girls, you can really see the communication and the cohesiveness of the team right now, and it really shows because the ball has just been on Basha's side practically the entire game so far.
And this is coming really strange to me because, as I mentioned earlier, the sense of sorority between these girls. They're just like sisters, so I see them around school together.
And Mesquite with another attempt on the goal. Ball goes right over the nets.
And we're at about 27 minutes.
As we have some change-ups on the roster, Basha takes out 2 players, and number 4 and number 6 putting in 2 new girls. Ball's about to be kicked and put into play again. And we're off.
An attempted headbutt.
Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, number 21 trying to make a play for the ball, but the ball is just back out of bounds once again. Seems to be the most common theme of tonight.
Just keeping it out of bounds. Sure, the girls are just getting warmed up.
And as I see some Basha alumni sitting over at the bench, it's nice to see some familiar faces from Basha's old rosters. Oh, but now Basha making some advances on the Mesquite field. Number 21 from Basha running down the field. Johnson making a breakaway. Ball is now out again, but it is on the Mesquite side. Let's see if we can get a play off of it.
You can't even comprehend how tired these girls must be now with all the action that's happened in the first, it's been like 14 minutes? I mean,
yeah, it's this all has been happening in the very short time of the game. And Basha with possession on Mesquite's side again. The ball is now in Mesquite's possession.
Right
Goalie with the
into
nice
goalie's
save.
hand. And Darshwensky kicks it to center field, and Mesquite is fighting with it.
Basha trying to gain control and push back towards Mesquite's side. Just a struggle. It's like a tug-of-war at this point. Let's see if we can get some real footing. Yeah, we get. I like to see a little aggression in the girls getting into the game, and it's nice to see the heart. I don't like watching games where it just seems like everything's slow motion, slow pace. This is nice.
Well, I doubt many people love to watch games that are of a slow tempo.
Very true. Mesquite with possession of the ball on Basha's side. Number 13, Larson with the ball coming up the sideline. Let's see if she can cut inwards and take it to the goal and make another goal. But no, Basha's defense pressuring. Looks like we're about to kick it out. And it's out.
If it weren't for all the interruptions in the game so far, I feel like it'd be a lot different.
Boy, I'd say.
Girls haven't really been allowed to just keep something strong going. No one's really to blame for that. It's just
Well, there's the ball out again. It just seems like the ball gets tossed in and then somebody heads it right back out. Number 23 of Basha kicking it up the field. It is now at midfield. There is a fight for the ball. Let's see who can take possession.
And 23 of Basha is Brooke Brown.
Brooke Brown, who I've not seen too much of this year, made a very impressive play just right there with an impressive lob down the field, keeping it in bounds. And number 14 of Basha,
Dakota Fisher,
keeping the ball on Mesquite's side. I like to see the tempo.
Good little fight going on with Mesquite, trying to get their way back up the field.
I'd like to see more use of footwork and ball work in this game. I feel like I just see a lot of kicking and passing. I want to see some footwork and skill sets start to take in. I like watching the technique of soccer. It's very intriguing.
Well, you think I know what's going on, Nick? I think they're a little bit tired. Because it's definitely been high tempo. It's a lot of interruptions in this game, which isn't really allowing them to get a good adrenaline rush going, you know?
That doesn't seem like a good excuse to me. These girls, this is what they train for week in and week out. I know the conditioning and endurance that soccer requires. It is rigorous, and if anything, these girls should be playing at a much higher pace right now. So let's see if they can turn things around, because things aren't looking too hot for the Basha girls right now.
And for those of us just tuning in, we have about 23 minutes left in the half. Bears 0, Mesquite 1.
As number 23 of Basha pushing down the field again.
You mean 23 of Mesquite?
No.
That's Williams. Basha? Oh, then that's Brooke Brown once again.
Brooke Brown, a key offensive player for Basha. We haven't seen too many aggressors, and her along with number 4,
Jessica Larson.
Jessica Larson have been two of Basha's key forwards, in my opinion. Another header. Mesquite's number 7 pushing the ball back towards midfield. And we have a struggle for the ball back and forth between Basha girl and Mesquite ball.
A lot of little spurts of action going on in the two middle quarters of the field, wouldn't you say?
A lot of exactly. A lot of ball touches going on right now. I want to see these girls get more movement going, but it is nice to see a little bit of back and forth, and you can see the struggle and the fight to keep it on one side. Ball is now pushing back towards Basha's side of the field. Let's see if the girls are going to make a breakaway off of this. No. Basha's number 12.
Number 12 is Corinne Lambert.
Corinne Lambert making a nice save, kicking the ball out of bounds right before it reached the net.
Corinne Lambert, one of the team's younger players, is a junior. Definite talent.
Well, I mean, we're talking young girls. Basha's Brooke Brown, a freshman on the team, along with Sarah Wheaton, 2 freshmen on the varsity team. That's impressive.
Overall, I'd say Basha's soccer team has a lot of young faces.
Has a lot of young faces, but a lot of impressive faces as well. These girls they're a nice group of girls that work very well as a unit and have definitely learned from a good group of girls. The girls that graduated last year, good role models. I see this season continuing to go well, but let's see what happens with this game right now. Is the ball about to be kicked by Basha's goalie, and now
right after switching some players out, so it should expect a whole different game now with different players.
Basha's number 8. Haven't seen her.
Number 8 is Celeste Rulas.
Okay, Celeste, new on the field. You can see she's going to have a little bit of spice in her game.
Definitely making a name for herself early on.
Ball back in Mesquite's possession. I feel like that's going to be one of the most common themes tonight, Mesquite with the ball. But as we discussed earlier, things could change within a matter of moments.
It's not really about how much time you have with the ball. It's about what you do with it when you got it.
That's true.
20 minutes left in the first half.
And we have to remember, a lot of these girls have been playing club soccer as well. So they've been playing with each other for years before this. And this is not their first time with each other. And these are not their first time knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses. So I really expect to see a good game and a good upbeat game, because this is nothing new to any of these girls.
And being that the girls are so close geographically, probably a lot of them did play with each other.
Yeah,
you know?
Very good point. Who knows if these girls played on teams younger?
Or if they're playing against friends or playing against people they got bad blood with. So I think that should definitely prove to make the game a little bit more interesting.
As we have a stop. Mesquite kicks the ball out of bounds now in Basha's possession, number 22.
22 is Sarah Wheaton.
Sarah Wheaton throwing the ball back in play. We have another substitution happening for Basha.
Number 13 going in, Aaliyah Carcasco.
Okay, I love seeing Aaliyah in. One of my old friends who I was talking about club soccer. She's played club soccer for many years. She could be a very key player for Basha's team tonight. Let's see how she does.
Nice little
Aaliyah taking possession of the ball right off the bat.
Skeet's fighting for it. Good little battle going on in midfield.
But losing the fight, Basha's taking the ball and pushing. We see a nice drive.
Crowd's going crazy.
Number 19, Riley Mitchell, almost getting the ball towards the goal. We have an attempt on the goal right now with number 23, Brooke Brown, almost making it in. That was one of the closest attempts we've seen tonight.
Definitely very close. It looks like all the new faces on Basha's field right now is definitely making a change.
I think you were 100% right when you said that the tempo of the game just needed to change, and the new faces and the new players in the game definitely changed the beat or the tempo.
Definitely is built up from the first couple minutes, and I hope it continues to build from there.
Another lob back midfield. Bash trying to take possession to get it back onto Mesquite's side. I just want to see these girls have a nice play and get a breakaway, but Mesquite's defense putting up good barriers, not really letting them break past the goalie barrier line.
And let's keep in mind, Mesquite is playing without one of their star players. So I gotta say they're doing rather extraordinary.
Yeah, for not having one of their best players, they are. You wouldn't even be able to tell.
And for Booth, if you're watching this at home, I hope for a speedy recovery, and I hope to see you back on the field again soon.
Ball back out of field, number 7 from Basha. Putting it back in play, we have number 21.
21 is
Morgan Johnson, who her name has been said a lot tonight. I'd like to see Miss Johnson get more possession of the ball. She seems to make good plays and has good footwork, throwing off some of the Mesquite defenders. But Mesquite with the ball on Basha's side right now, making a play towards the ball. Basha kicking it back out of bounds, and it is back now in midfield. Kind of funny how the ball doesn't touch certain parts of the field the whole night.
Yeah.
But then there's other parts of the field that it's all they play on.
It's kind of a trivial thought, Nick. Number 5 on Mesquite, Miss Casey Larson.
Oh, and as we have an attempt on Basha's goal, Basha's goalie, though, she is making...
Kendall Humphreys.
Kendall Humphreys is making some impressive plays tonight. Despite the one goal that has happened, it happens to the best of us, but she's making some key plays. Now let's just hope her offense can come in for her and start putting some work in on these Mesquite girls. Once you really start tiring out a defense, that's when you can really see some breakaways happen. So I want to see more pressure on Basha's side so that these girls can start breaking through these barriers. Wouldn't you agree, Max?
I most definitely agree, Nick. We have a little bit more than 15 minutes left in the first half.
Kind of at a standstill. We haven't seen much movement happening after the first goal.
Well, once again, two very formidable opponents. It's just like when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. So it's just kind of
right in the middle.
You expect a little bit of a stalemate.
I was hoping to see one of the girls with back in the day we were talking about old soccer experiences. I used to watch these girls throw the ball in the most complicated way. They would do like I don't even know. Never mind.
Definite talent, and the amount of dedication they have to the sport is admirable.
Mesquite with possession of the ball, and another substitution on Basha's side. It seems like Basha's just doing substitution after substitution, obviously trying to get into the rhythm of things.
Keeping it fresh.
Keeping it fresh. That's funny. I like hearing these different sayings that you don't hear too often. Like I've been saying "rad" lately.
Rad. Yeah.
Like this is a rad performance from Mesquite's players tonight.
Let's hope in the game
Mesquite's parent section. I love how small and close knit they are. Basha kind of spread out, and we see people lounged out, laying on the stands. Mesquite's crowd very close knit. That might be symbolic.
Well, like you said, I mean, I didn't really get a chance to comment on Mesquite's like very close, the closest of the team, which is evident at least from the stands. I mean, and their communication on the field.
Yeah, the communication on the field with just looking at the stands, you can tell all aspects of the team are close knit. So that can definitely be a strong positive attribute. Ball's about to go back out of bounds, kicked out of bounds by Basha.
About a boos from the parents in Basha's section.
What do you think we were getting those boos about? I didn't actually see what the.
That was the ref's call. They disagreed with it.
One of the too often things that happen in games today. Referees and their silly calls sometimes.
But they do serve a purpose. They are the refs and interceptions are the two great equalizers. Of course, that's for football, but
A lot of football referees.
I'll stick to what I know.
And the ball kicked back out of bounds by number 6 on Mesquite's side. Back in Bash's possession with about to have another lob kick towards midfield.
And number 6 on Mesquite is Taylor Roser.
Ball back up in another header. Number 19 on Mesquite.
Number 19 on Mesquite, that is Maddie Ross.
Getting the ball towards Basha's side. We now have back out of bounds once again.
That was a new name for me to say. Hope she makes a name for herself on the field.
And we have to remember, sometimes this could be a rebuilding year for either one of these teams. I know every team has its years where they lose some of their most effective players and they kind of lose that cohesiveness and they just kind of have to find that niche again. So let's see how that works out for the rest of the season. But right now, another battle midfield, back and forth between Basha and Mesquite. Alea trying to make a play on the ball.
What was I gonna say?
A lot of heart.
A lot of heart. Thank you, Nick.
Welcome, buddy. And back out of bounds, Mesquite side. Oh, okay, I guess that was out on Basha. If the ref saw that correctly or not. Ooh, number 21, who I've been talking about tonight.
21 is Morgan Johnson.
Morgan Johnson, she just keeps on impressing me, honestly. Making very aggressive plays on the ball. You can, what position is she?
Let's see, Morgan Johnson, forward.
Very
aggressive
A
player.
forward, coming down often onto the defensive side of things, making plays for her team. She's
that was a field goal at the very least.
A very universal player, and that's important right now. I'd like to see her get the ball, as I've said earlier, and make a play right now, because Mesquite's goalie looking awfully tired and cold over there. Let's get her moving.
She hasn't seen too much action tonight.
She's only had to make one save. Ball back out of bounds on Basha's side. Man, I don't know what the name of the position for the people who have to grab the balls and they go out of bounds every time, but they're really keeping them on work or keeping them on edge.
Hey, let's take a moment to thank them for their due diligence at their little niche in today's soccer game.
Doing more work than half the team.
And Mesquite fights for it, brings it back down the field.
Another standstill right at the middle of the field. Ball is back out of bounds. Mesquite with the ball.
Number 5 on Mesquite, Miss Casey Larson throwing it in.
Casey Larson, who obviously gets a lot of ball time. We've been saying her name quite often tonight.
Indeed we were.
It's funny how really just certain players can make such an important impact on a team, and just taking out like Mesquite's one player can make such an impact. But as we also said, Mesquite really holding their ground. Without that player, they're still doing just as good.
I mean, it's something that all teams got to face, losing players. I mean, I know that we lost a lot of girls to graduation, and hence why our team's so young. We only have about one or two seniors on our team. You only got one. That's Lyra Carcasso.
And
I'm sorry, Peyton Steele.
And we have some activity on Mesquite's side of the field. Basha making a strong play towards the goal, but it is back now, getting lobbed towards midfield. I think that is going to be one of the most used kicks tonight, the lob kick, just going straight back to midfield, time after time. Okay, all right. We have some uproar in the stands as Mesquite's number. It doesn't really matter what number right now, but throwing some elbows at our Basha fam, not okay.
And we are about a little less than 9 minutes left in the first half.
Boy, wouldn't it be a change of pace if Basha scored a goal right before halftime?
Hopefully that spark a little bit more of a more excitement in the game. Not to say that the adrenaline isn't rushing right now, but it's definitely intense as one team fights to tie it up and another fights for the lead.
We have another fall on Mesquite's side. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I see a lot of those fake falls on professional basketball, but these soccer girls, they seriously take some nasty hits sometimes, and props to just picking right back up and going right back at it.
Love to see girls that are better at manning up than the actual men, don't you?
Ball about to Hannah Steele saving the ball from going out of bounds once again. Thank you, Hannah. We have some activity on Mesquite's side of the field. Mesquite's number 23.
Number 23 is Tyler Williams.
Tyler Williams making a key save from Mesquite's side, kicking the ball out of bounds numerous times. Not out of bounds, but kicking it out of Mesquite's side.
And Mesquite's 21, Lexi Auerkamp, brings it back down the field. And it's out again. And we're off again.
More activity in midfield.
Basha fights to bring it down.
More like fighting just to keep control. Mesquite girls really pushing on the Basha girls right now, getting in each other's faces, and it's a really physical game at this point.
Well, it is. We are at the final minutes of the half, so
Okay,
Basha's
Basha-
struggling. Oh, it's out. Basha's fighting to get at least get 1 point up on the board here.
I mean, 6 minutes left. That's a lot of time to make a key play in the game.
I don't know about you, Nick, but I've never been a huge advocate for women's soccer before this. But after watching this game, I definitely have a newfound appreciation for it.
Well, I mean, I've had an appreciation almost my whole life just due to watching my sister and the fact that I played. But like anything, it requires a level of respect that you learn over time. Because just looking at soccer, you wouldn't see how much of a challenge and how difficult it is. But the discipline and the skill that these girls really execute in this game is superb.
And
I know I couldn't be out there running all this. The conditioning too, boy, the amount of running.
I'm a wrestler personally, and the conditioning that these women's soccer players have to go through is scary to me. So,
Basha putting the ball back in play on Mesquite's side of the field. Mesquite's number 23 putting
Mesquite's number 23. That is Tyler Williams once again.
Tyler Williams once again putting Basha back where they started. She's going to be one of Mesquite's key defensive players tonight. Props to her.
Definite stars emerging on this team.
You already know that Mesquite's goalie, Darchewski, is just loving life right now, not having to do too much with her defenders, really doing all the legwork right now.
Well, let's hope she doesn't get rusty from not getting that much action. She got to stay warm, you know.
Yeah, but that could be a key advantage for Basha. Ball back out of bounds.
About 4 minutes 30 seconds left.
Well, I will
in
say
the
this.
first quarter, in the first half. Sorry.
It's all good. Within the last 10 minutes of the game, Basha has changed the pace. I would say that the ball has been on Mesquite's side in the last 10 minutes a lot more than the entire rest of the game.
Basha's fighting for control by stretching out their...
Number 5 of Basha's, Stevenson, who I don't think I've said her name tonight, making a play on the ball again, trying to get towards the net. I don't think that the ball has actually made it inside of the goalie's box.
The goalie hasn't had a lot to do tonight, but that's no reflection of her skill in any way.
Just a reflection of the momentum of the game itself.
That's kind of one of the scary things for Basha is that, like, Mesquite's already gotten a feel of our goalie's ability.
A nice swift hip. I don't know if I would call that. I mean, that's the one thing that gets tricky about women's soccer, if you ask me, is how to call the falling and the bumping. There's going to be a natural physicalness to the game, and girls are going to make contact. I don't always see why they need to stop the game, but Alea Cargasco with the hip, Mesquite player taking the ball, now back on Basha's side of the field.
I apologize. That was actually a miss. Corinne Larson. Sorry, all the players of similar numbers seem to want to stand next to each other tonight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So one of the scary things for Bash is the fact that we don't really know of Mesquite's goalie's ability. Jarszewski, which, for all we know, she could be the best in the state.
No.
We just haven't given her a run for her money yet.
The scary thing is the fact that we haven't been able to test her skill yet. Just showing what a good team she has. I mean, that's just another barrier of defense that they have. It's kind of scary to think about, but it's just the first half. Like I said, the momentum's definitely changing its pace. Basha putting more pressure on Mesquite now.
But about 2 minutes left, we're not sure if she will get a run for her money. So, Nick, last 2 minutes, what would you predict for the rest of the game?
Based on what I'm seeing right now, and as much as it It pains me to say, from what I'm seeing right now, I could see the game not even changing scores. It could just very well stay 1-0 the entire night. But I hope that these girls prove me wrong. They definitely have many times before, and they will continue to do so. So I just hope to see the best performance from all of these ladies tonight with about a minute and 20 seconds left in the first half.
And for those who just tuned in, it is Mesquite 1 and Basha 0 at Basha. Looks like...
Okay, all right. Have a little bit of some yelling on both sides. I love how involved the parents get over the littlest calls.
Well, you got to remember, these are their kids here, so they'll do anything they can to support them. About a minute left, down to the final seconds of the first half.
Basha on Mesquite's field, Mesquite's side of the field. I think this is the closest I've seen the ball stand still on Mesquite's side, putting the goalie to her first test. Basha's number 6, Hannah Householder, making the kick. Didn't really get where it needed to be, but it's okay. Ball's still on Mesquite's side of the field.
Just about 30 seconds left.
And thank you for listening to Sports360az.com tonight. We were able to get a couple of our camera guys to the varsity soccer practice and were able to ask a few questions to some of the players. And here's what they got.
And we'll tune in for that in just about 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's the half. Once again, here's a short little story made by our camera guys at the girls' varsity soccer practice.
We're both captain, and I play center mid.
And I play outside mid.
What has been the most challenging
I've had 2 stress fractures in my right foot, so that was hard.
I minorly tore my hip flexor, and I was out for about 8 months.
How long have you both played soccer?
Since I was 4.
Yeah, since I was 4 years old.
What is your favorite memory while playing soccer?
This past week I scored the game-winning goal type, and we tied it up against Perry and ended up winning in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We haven't beaten Perry in years. So.
Yeah, that was the first time we beat Perry in 5 years, so that was really cool.
Hello and welcome back to sports360az.com. I'm Nick.
And I'm Maxwell Parisi. Tonight we are live streaming the varsity soccer game at Basha High School. This is a game going on between Basha High and Mesquite High. So let's recap the first half for those who missed it, Nick.
Okay. Well, at the very first 10 minutes I apologize, stuttering. Within the first 10 minutes of the game, we already had a goal from Mesquite. That definitely changed the momentum of the game for the first half. Mesquite was a powerful force, keeping Basha, I would say, on the edge of their defense, or on their side pretty much the entire first half. We had some key players though, such as Noel and Stevenson from Basha's side, who were making key plays on the balls and making sure that Mesquite couldn't further the ball or further the progression.
And more specifically, I'd say for Basha, this is already a kind of a battle uphill because if you look at it, Mesquite's already got a goal, you know what I mean? And they've basically been controlling the ball at the very beginning of the game, and they're just starting to get their tempo back.
It's true, but what's funny about this is I was expecting the complete opposite. For those of you just tuning in, Mesquite's star player is actually out and injured right now. One of their mid-centers, which is for people who don't know much about soccer, that player pretty much plays the entire field, and Mesquite's star center is out right now.
And that's booth number 15. We hope for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, and we would have thought that would have stopped their progression, but no, Mesquite's defense and offense both playing very aggressively.
It's definitely going to be an interesting game from here on out.
What do you think Basha needs to do for the rest of the game to change the pace of the game, Max?
Communication, and they just got to go to the goal with their best possible play, strategies, all they can do, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, I mean, their goalie hasn't seen a lot of action yet today.
Neither goalies have seen too much action. The only action that Basha's goalie has really seen is the one goal and the one attempt for Mesquite. But halftime has come to an end. The girls are taking the field once again. I'm excited to see what's to come. With the change of side on the field, Basha can start pushing the ball towards Mesquite's side. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, the lighting is pretty bad on the side that Basha was on. That could probably account for a lot of the faults on their part. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know if I would see them blaming their game on the light aspect of the field, but could be one of the things.
Well, as a Basha fan, I'll make any excuse for lack of a lead.
I 100% understand. Mesquite taking the field, Basha already in position. I think this is about to be a much more interesting half. The first half, it just seemed like it was either out of bounds or up in the air being lobbed around in midfield. So I'm hoping to see more technique and more footwork in the second half, because that's what I think is really makes the game what it is.
I doubt we'll see a lot more scoring in this half, though, because now the players all know each other. Well, some of them may have known each other before, because geographically the two teams are very close. And so a lot of these girls grew up together and played together in clubs. So
yes, but Basha
off.
coming on the field, they're hungry. I mean, nobody wants to lose.
And
Basha with possession of the ball, back at midfield. Mesquite taking possession. We have number 19, Ross, with possession of the ball, putting it up towards Basha's side. Basha's goalie Humphreys putting the ball back at midfield.
You can already tell just from starting. It's a definite change in
tempo. Definite change in tempo. Basha's Thornton with the ball right now, making a play towards mid Mesquite side. There is an attempt on the ball, or attempt on the goal. Every attempt that Basha has made, though, so far, the ball has just gone right over the goal line. They need to channel those kicks and control them a little bit more. And that comes down to, once again, just discipline and skill set. So we'll see who really wins with those.
Well, you can imagine their aggression at this point, you know, because
the frustration.
I mean, they're being beat at their home stadium, and knowing that the Basha spirit, they won't take that.
That's true.
You know? We definitely got hard.
Well, I mean, I see the Basha girls coming out with a much more aggressive spirit. You can see faster pace, which is good. You have to keep your opponent on their toes, and Basha's coach obviously had to do a nice pep talk at halftime to get these girls going.
very close to
Ball on the Basha side of the field, out of bounds once again.
about 38 minutes left in the second half. Mesquite 1, Basha 0 at Basha.
What an interesting color of jerseys for the refs.
I think it's a seasonal thing.
I hope not. Basha with possession of the ball. Noel about to make a kick from about
Say about a quarter of the field.
Yeah, about a quarter of the way of the field. Ball back into midfield.
Mesquite gaining a little bit of control. A lot more crowd support than earlier in the game.
Oh,
You can hear,
and Basha, Mesquite pushing one of Basha's players straight to the
I think
ground.
that was number 7. Didn't get a good look. But if it was, it's Cameron Boucher.
Cameron Boucher with the fall, but
Yeah, she's a tough girl. She can handle it.
yeah, she's fine. Ball back out of bounds. Mesquite with possession, about to be throwing it back in. On Basha's side of the field, let's see if Mesquite can make a play with this. Haven't seen too much passing been going on at the moment. It seems like a lot of individual play.
I think the aggression might have to play into that quite a bit. I mean, because they're all kind of red hot with anger coming out, at least all of Basha is, because coming back onto the field, losing at their home field to a team that's kind of crippled for not having its
Clearly not.
district center lost.
Okay, and we have a little bit of a breakthrough. Ball.
Let's see.
Bad breakthrough. Ball is on Basha's side. Oh, Basha goalie Humphreys with a nice save.
That wasn't Basha goal. That was Mesquite's goalie, Jarschwensky, who has not seen a lot of action
yes.
tonight, but we hope to give her a run for her money, huh? Definitely a different game now. Huh? About 30 seconds left in the second half.
You mean 30 minutes? 30 seconds.
36 minutes left in the
Second half.
You know how I confuse myself.
Mesquite I think we're all just so taken away by this game right now. It's kind of challenging just keeping track of where the ball's going. It seems to be changing possession of player every 2 seconds.
A little ooh.
And
down goes number 12. That is
number
a miss.
13.
Number 13, I apologize. Cameron Larson, who's been a star player in the game thus far.
Mesquite with possession of the ball, making a play towards Basha's side. I thought I was going to see a nice spin move right there, but I didn't. Actually, it went from a spin to a stumble. Basha's quickly kicking the ball out of... Oh. Seeing some... Okay, all right.
And it's out.
And that was... See, now that was out of play right there. That did not need to happen.
Ooh, yeah, she kind of dived on the ball there. That's a
Basha's-
hard call to make.
Basha's Hannah Householder is out of bounds, and Mesquite's number 23 just pushes her straight to the ground. Maybe a little bad blood right there. I love watching a good sports rivalry.
No, that was a tough call to make, though.
Well, no flags have been thrown so far, so clearly nothing too substantial has happened.
And it appears to be Basha's ball.
Basha's ball. Apparently their star kicker, Noel, making the kick. Ball is now on Mesquite's side again. Let's see if Thornton can make a play against Mesquite and actually put in some work and score a goal. Back out of bounds, though.
It's the first time so far in the game that I've really seen it on Mesquite's side of the field, huh? Not to say that...
Not the first time, but definitely a different change of position. They're getting closer as the game gradually goes on, but I mean, you can't take this long. You have to get things going fast. Oh, okay.
Ooh, a lot of falls being taken.
A lot of falling, a lot of elbows being
These
thrown.
girls are out for blood. And the kick is made, and
In the possession of Mesquite once again.
fighting
A struggle for the ball midfield.
And a throw-in by Mesquite's possession. And another.
Always one of the scariest moments in the game when you both jump up for the head ball. You don't really know where each other's heads are going to land. Definitely seen some nasty injuries there.
And that would account for some of your brain damage, wouldn't it, Nick?
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it. Basha's Noel with a nice save comes swooping right in to grab that ball. A lot of times you see the goalies just kind of waiting for the ball to come to them, but Basha's goalie Noel definitely putting herself in front of, or Basha's goalie Humphreys, my apologies, or Noel, no,
Humphreys,
my apologies, with some key saves in tonight's game.
And the ball gets thrown in by Basha in Mesquite territory. Mesquite taking control of the bar pretty early on. Basha
I heard
trying to hold on.
I heard a Basha parents yell out just a second ago, "Control," and it's so true. We need to see some. We need these Basha girls to get control of the ball, discipline themselves, and get some communication out on the field so that they can make a play. A lot of times, people think that soccer is just a game of kicking and screaming, and the ball just magically lands in the goal. It is a great game of strategy, and I don't think I've seen too much of that strategy tonight.
So I guess Daddy really does know best, doesn't he?
Mesquite obviously coming in here with a clear game plan and a clear objective, because they're just hauling butt all night, back and forth, up and down this field, defenders and forwards.
It's really just been a stalemate all night. I doubt that Mesquite would have any points up on the board if it weren't for the kind of interruption tempo earlier. And just over the goal.
Well, as you're about to have to bite your words right there, as Mesquite was about to put the ball back in the net, barely going above the goal line.
Well, almost always only counts in horseshoes.
Hand grenades and horseshoes.
And last time I said it was about. Last time I said I was playing horseshoes, it was about hand grenades. Isn't that the expression?
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? Well, I tried.
Ball back in midfield seems to be the key position of the game tonight. So these midfielders must be having some fun. But as much fun as you can be having, I'd like to see some strategic planning happening. I don't see too much coaching happening, to be honest. These girls need some direction. So let's see how that goes. I'd like to see some more input from the sideline.
And Basha fights for the ball. And it looks like Mesquite gets possession. And,
back out of bounds. Basha with possession. Let's see if we can make a breakaway. Oh, but no, we have some substitution. Actually, quite a few substitutions. Looks like the whole roster is being changed out. I wonder what the thought process on that was.
Well, last time that they switched out some of the players, there was a dramatic change in performance.
That is true.
Well, maybe because the original ones are just tired out. But if you notice, Mesquite didn't change out any of their players. They're playing tired.
I wouldn't say tired. I see a lot of heart and energy from both teams. Mesquite has had less substitutions, probably having to do with the fact that their bench is much smaller. I only see about four girls on their bench right now. Basha with about 12 girls on their bench, making for big almost breakaway on the Basha side towards the Mesquite side, but we got kicked out of bounds once again.
And we are entering the last 30 minutes of the game here today.
Score still 1-0 Mesquite if you're just now tuning in with us at sports360az.com.
At Basha High School, home of the Bash Bears. And there seems to be a little fight going on.
It just seems like one big mix-up, to be honest. I haven't seen, like the number one word I've really been hearing in the stands, control. Because there hasn't been too much control on either side, and I have been critiquing a lot of the players, but as a whole, for all of the girls, there has not been enough communication and control. One of the things that they're probably going to be talking about as the game concludes.
I think the lack of controls has to do with the lack of communication between the players. Because right now they're all kind of, at least Basha, they're all kind of playing for themselves right now. Not a lot of interaction between them. Not a lot of passing.
Yeah, very true. Not a lot of passing happening, just a lot of change of possession between Basha girl and Mesquite girl and the in and out of the game. But Mesquite is taking it down the field right now. I think we're going to see a nice pass play between Mesquite's Larson and Mesquite's Roser. Oh, it was close. I definitely saw the drive. I saw the potential in the play. See, that's what I want to see. You can see what they were trying to accomplish. Now they just need to execute. As for Basha and as for the previous part of the game, there has not been a lot of execution or clear planning.
About 28 minutes left in the second half.
Oh, and Basha misses the header, Mesquite takes control again, driving Basha's defenders inch by inch back towards Basha's goal.
And Humphrey makes the save.
Once again.
Definitely been a lot more action for Basha's goalie Humphrey than it has been for Mesquite's goalie Darshwitsky, wouldn't you say?
Yes, one of the much more stressful positions of soccer. I've always had so much respect for them because I know I couldn't be out there doing that every day.
Well, you know what I hope, Nick? I sure do hope I am pronouncing number 1 on Mesquite's last name right, Darshwensky, I believe. I apologize if I'm not. Had quite a few different interpretations on it thus far.
As a person who has a very confusing last name, and people do mess up my last name all the time, it does get annoying, but it's not too big of an issue. I'm sure she's more focused on winning this game right now. Mesquite's still winning 1-0. Haven't seen too much possibility for change in the score. It seems like it's going to be staying at a natural standstill, but I am hoping that we are going to be proved wrong.
Though the score doesn't reflect it, the game is very intense. A lot of action going on between both players. Between both teams, I apologize.
Ball once again out of bounds. Like I said in the first half, the people collecting these balls out of bounds, they're the real MVPs tonight. Shout out. Okay, Basha, never mind. Kicking it out of bounds again.
And Mesquite will be throwing it back in.
I don't watch too much soccer, to be honest, but when I am watching soccer, this is not what I'm used to seeing. This type of game is very unusual. The position of the game, or the fact that it's been mainly in midfield, doesn't seem to be usual to me. It seems like it's usually very one-sided, but I mean, like we keep on saying, the momentum can change at any moment. Basha does have possession of the ball right now, throwing the ball in right now. We'll see if we can get a goal.
Well, I feel like both teams really are matching each other's skill set. Oh, that was close.
It's now it is right by Mesquite's goal, kicked out once again. But Bash is keeping it. Bash's offense is really fighting right now to keep the ball.
They're gonna fight for this goal. They need it.
Once again, the ball is being brought back towards Bash's side. Bash's number 22, Wheaton, making a key save, not allowing that ball to make it past the half line.
Definitely been making a name for herself in the first 15 minutes of this half, with about 25 minutes left.
Well, defense can only do so much. They say defense wins games, and it is true, but if they have any expectations of winning tonight, we need to see offense make some changes.
Ooh, oh.
With one of the first real attempts on the goal tonight.
Just needed a little less power on that one.
Just a little less power, maybe a little less torque, and that would have been solid, but really nice attempts. I hope she can get in that same position again, so next goal she can make this one.
God knows what'll happen once the score ties up. Just imagine the intensity.
I know, right? That's when it really becomes a nail biter.
Mesquite trying to take it back to gain control and bring it back down the field. And Basha making a aim towards goal. And it looks like
Okay, now we had a real play on the ball right there. I completely saw what they were trying to do.
Jessica Larson on Basha was within inches of sinking that goal.
Good planning, nice execution, and just was not there. There's just nothing you can do about that. Now those are the mistakes that I like. Not mistakes. Those are the plays that I like to see because those are the things that can really change the game. So I hope that we can see more plays like that happen.
Well,
because you could actually see real communication between the two Basha players. But we have a breakthrough right now on the Mesquite side.
And it looks like it will be recovered by. And she's pushed down. That is.
With a nice save, actually putting herself in front of the goal, knocking that ball right out of bounds.
Taking a fall for the team. Always got to respect that.
Miss Nall really being a key defensive player for Basha tonight. I've enjoyed watching her performance tonight. I hope that it is valued on the team because she has definitely been putting in work.
With skills, with teams with skill sets so evenly matched like these two teams, it's it's bound to be so close like this. Every goal is just a hair away from actually happening.
That's 100% true. Sometimes these games can be difficult and more rigorous to watch just due to the fact that the skill levels of the teams are so close that, like you said, it's hard for there to be natural movement and progression in the game, natural standstill. So I hope that can stop because we need to see some more aggression and we need to see some changes right now, or this game is just going to continue how it is, and Mesquite's going to walk away on a winning spree.
And with the airtight defense on both teams that we've seen so far, it's almost as if you're not really waiting for you can't even try any harder. It's more like just waiting for the defense to screw up.
We're waiting for the defense to screw up and the offense to really push forward. We need
Mesquite taking a drive towards Basha's goal.
But Miss Nall from Basha kicking it out once again, trying to get it to her two forwards. I keep on seeing these two forwards for Basha, these two blonde girls, mixing up their names, but they both as a unit are two effective players. I wouldn't have guessed it, to be honest. They have proven me wrong. They look younger too, so that's...
Yeah, and the younger girl on the field, Riley Mitchell
actually getting playing time as a sophomore, freshman?
Let me take a look here. 19. Mitchell, freshman. Yeah. Whew. And the size is difference impressive between her and the other players. She's definitely got guts going for her. That's for sure.
Well, those are the best players to watch. The ones who just simply don't care about the size difference. That makes them even more hungry. She's out there trying to make a spot on that team permanently for herself for the rest of these 4 years, and she's doing a solid performance. There's only so much you can do as an individual on a team. We need to see more of a unit.
And Basha taking a drive towards the goal. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a fight for it. Basha tries to gain control.
Close headbutting. I hope we don't see any collisions because, boy, I know those hurt so much. I've had a couple concussions, like you were talking about brain damage.
And Basha sending in some replacements once again.
More substitutes, but for those of you just now tuning in, the game is 1-0 Mesquite.
With about 20 minutes left, and this is at Basha.
The continuous... Now, we were talking about the substitutions and how they could possibly be really helping Basha, but at the same time, don't you think they could possibly be negatively affecting Basha? Too much change, and they can't really get into the rhythm of things.
Well, I feel like getting fresh faces out there is important because this is a very physically demanding game because both teams are so evenly matched. Oh, and if you look at it, Basha taking drive towards Mesquite's goal. Mesquite's easily getting control back. Mesquite getting it back onto Basha's side of the field to maybe...
What I've really just picked up from watching that is... I think one of the reasons Basha's really been struggling to get onto Mesquite's side is Mesquite has a very interesting barrier that they have defensive-wise, not allowing the Basha girls to really break through, and Basha does not have the same barrier set up defensive-wise, and we're seeing a lot of penetration from the Mesquite girls.
Well, let's hope to see some more action as we enter the final quarter of the game with the last 20 minutes.
Okay, Basha making some movement. Let's see if we can keep the I like to call them smart touches.
Ooh, and that was a fall.
A nasty fall from a number...
Celeste
Rulas.
She got right back up. She can take a hit. Girls are tougher than I am. Not quite sure if that's saying much, though. And Mesquite throws it back in.
Another toss in. Let's see how long the ball can keep in bounds for this drive. I'd like to see some more smart touches and more smart plays from both teams. See a little bit more communication. I haven't been... Usually you can hear the girls girls' emotion on the field. You can hear the problems and the yelling. I can't really hear too much happening on the field right now, and that's not a good sign.
I think they are either too far in the zone or too tired at this point.
Too far in the zone or too far out of it to find it.
Mesquite making its way down. Oh, and rejected by Basha.
This does happen all the time, though. We have to remember. I mean, just from watching the World Cup this summer, some of the games were just as much of at a standstill as this game right now. Basha's Boucher.
Boucher. Sorry, once again, we apologize for pronouncing any of these last names incorrectly. She's
Yeah, we're just
quite
trying to give credit where it's due, but we keep on butchering these names. I apologize. Basha making a play towards the field. I see a Basha defender on the Mesquite side. Ball is still in play. That was a fight right there. Basha Hatchet. Lauren Hatchett, who has been really playing very, very effectively tonight. Props to her. I think I see she's one of the captains of the team, which would make sense. She seems to be a natural leader on the field, and she's making key plays. Now let's see if she can work in a communication with Hannah, who is kicking the ball right now, and get a goal.
Yeah, Hatchet is definitely a fighter. I've observed that so far in the game. Let's just hope that gets her far enough.
Okay.
And it's in!
And it's in. Basha scoring a goal.
Basha gets her first goal.
Hannah Householder scoring the goal for Basha High Schools, tying the game 1-1 with 17 minutes left in the game. That definitely just changed the pace of the game. Let's see how things go now.
This should get them moving now that we are at a tie in a game that has, for the most part, been a stalemate, but has been in Mesquite's favor. So this is definitely going to shake things up a bit. Mesquite starting out with the ball.
Well, Hatchet and Householder with a really nice play together, setting up a nice goal with Basha, tying up the game for possible victory. Let's see what happens now.
And it is out.
I'd say that I quickly saw things started picking up pace right after that goal happened. It's just funny how quickly people can get reinterested.
Well, we got 16 minutes left in the last half.
That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. Well, look how much time it took them to get the Basha's goal.
That's true. I mean, we could be seeing possible overtimes, possible penalty kicks. I would hate to see a game come down to penalty kicks, though. I feel like that is not a true detriment of the team's skill. But Basha making a drive down Mesquite's sideline right now. Mesquite lobbing the ball back towards midfield, one of their key defensive plays of the night.
Nice little headbutt, and they're trying to go in for another one. They're definitely.
Well, I mean, like we said, that goal put Basha back on track. They're pushing forward now. I would say that just within the past minute, Basha's attitude has completely changed, and now it is much more aggressive.
Yeah, Basha got a taste of it. Now they're fighting for it as they work their way back down to the goal.
See, that was a nice pass.
Yeah, the teamwork's improved.
It's communication changed within a couple of seconds. It's just funny how quickly that takes place.
A little bit more than 15 minutes left in the game. We should expect a very interesting conclusion.
Another Mesquite player down. Looks like she took a ball straight to the gut. I mean, there's nothing to say about that other than ouch, honestly.
Once again, these women are
much tougher than you would give them credit for if you just saw them. Okay, Mesquite setting up to make a attempt on Basha's goal right now. But Basha defenders saying no, kicking it out right away. I'm hearing some more communication as I was talking about earlier. And that was some good footwork from, who is that? Okay, Akira Thornton. I've been talking about footwork all night. I haven't been seeing too much technique and footwork, but that was some impressive footwork from Akira Thornton, making a nice play down the field. I would have liked to see her have some more support from her team.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any time for Mesquite to start losing their focus, it is not now.
It is not now, but it could possibly very well be now. You start slipping up, and then before you know it, you're losing, and things have... See, just like that, those little mistakes, kicking the ball out of bounds when there's a player directly next to you, those are the little mistakes that can get you off your game.
And this is a game dependent on the other team's little mistakes. I mean, the two teams are so evenly matched that one screw up on either side could mean a loss. And Basha fighting.
Mesquite girls trying to get a flag called for some bump-ins, but what can you do? You can't throw a flag for everything now, can we?
And
more substitutions on Mesquite side this time. Interesting. I'd like to see who they're switching up with such a small bench to select from. They must have their coach must be a very particular coach, not having too many people to choose from on his substitution list. He must be very confident in his team as a whole.
Well, a coach needs to be. I mean, especially in close games like this, where we're down to the last 13 minutes with a tied score of a game that has been very evenly matched.
And I think the girls are feeling it just as much as we are, picking up the pace, really trying to make a play, knowing that nobody really wants to have to go into overtime and possibly penalty kicks. The aggression is picking up, and the tempo. These girls are moving faster, and they're trying to make something happen.
I mean, if you were to take a video of the game right now compared to the beginning of the game, it'd be night and day.
It was a whole different game.
Basha fighting to get it down so they can make an offensive play.
Seen some very interesting techniques with the Mesquite girls. Possibly another reason Basha's struggling, or, well, not even struggling considering they just scored, but maybe part of the reason that they've been struggling to make progression down the field. Mesquite's techniques and strategies are very individualistic, and I have not seen them in very many other women's soccer teams, so that's very interesting. But Basha, a very strong competitor, fighting every minute. We'll see how these last 10 minutes play out and if we can get another goal.
If you haven't noticed, Basha's just made some substitutions, and usually new faces, like when they see new faces on the field, usually an improvement in performance follows. So, not to say they're doing bad, but they're definitely going to be doing a lot better now, if the pattern continues. Mesquite gaining control of the ball, and it's out. Mesquite's possession.
Seeing some cheerful faces on the Basha sidelines right now. It's nice to see that the girls have their heart and hope still up. I know sometimes it can get really frustrating in a tied game. You're losing hope, but they just got to keep pushing through because there's 10 minutes and 55 seconds left in this game, and things could change within the next 30 seconds.
And with about 10 minutes left in the game, what would you predict? Ty, Mesquite, or Basha?
I'm not even going to answer that question. I'm going to answer it with what do I hope for. I'm hoping that our Basha girls can come out with a victory on top, but Mesquite, a very strong competitor, might just come on top as well. We don't know. We'll just have to see. Either way, very, very solid performance from both sides of the field tonight.
I can see us going to overtime. I really could.
And if it goes to overtime, more than likely I could see it going into penalty kicks.
And more than likely I won't finish my English essay tonight. So, let's hope for a speedy victory.
Some action on Mesquite's side of the field. Let's see if Basha can make another play. Okay, all right. Darchwinski getting the ball once again, making a nice vital save.
I think she's going to see a lot more action now that the game's getting a lot closer. Both goalies are definitely better get their game bases on. Basha makes an approach towards the goal, fighting for it, tooth and nail. Not a lot of support from other... and it's out. On Basha, so Mesquite's ball.
Those of you just now tuning in with us, Mesquite Basha tied 1-1 home at Basha. There's 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. Very eager to see how the rest of this game plays out. Seems to be at a natural standstill, but we've been. Oh, okay. Well, cutting off what I just said, we have some controversy on the field. Looks like the refs talking to the Basha girl. We have some unnecessary roughness. But that just comes out with when your blood gets pumping and you really want that victory.
Though unacceptable, unnecessary roughness is a little bit expected at this point in this kind of game.
But who's to say? I mean, coming from a wrestler, we should be nothing but voting for the aggressiveness. Am I right?
That is true, and I do like to see some girls fight.
I mean, if we're just trying to see girls fight, though, let's go turn on some Ronda Rousey. I want to see these girls play soccer.
And Basha makes the throw in. Mesquite fighting to get control of the ball. Basha regaining it.
See, but we haven't said that too often tonight. Mesquite fighting. So it's nice to hear that for once. Basha forwards putting some clear pressure on Mesquite's defense, actually driving them more backwards than they have the entire game. Would you agree with that?
I'd say Mesquite's performance has been pretty steady. Like I said earlier, they're an immovable object, but Basha just might be an unstoppable force that could, of course, that no one really knows what happens when an unmovable object is met by an unstoppable force. So,
I mean, except for like scientists and everybody who knows that.
Mesquite fighting for it. About
Basha taking possession, turning the ball back around, moving the ball back up towards Mesquite's side. I would like to see some constant competitiveness and keep the ball on one side. I want to see Basha really power pressuring them. But I mean, like we said, they're both really two good teams, and they both have two good defenses and two good offenses, and that can prove to be a challenge. Tie game still. We will see if someone can score.
And like I said earlier, about 7 minutes left, so not a lot of time to change the score for both teams. If any score, and a great save by Humphreys.
A great save by Humphreys and a great attempt by
Mesquite.
By Mesquite's forward.
Both teams fighting for the ball. Mesquite gets to us first and is recovered by Basha.
Mesquite's Miss Williams making a nice save, keeping the ball in bounds. That's what I like to see. Too many times kicking the ball out of bounds. Let's see some playing time. Nice little mix-up right there. It was funny. You could see she didn't even really know where the ball went herself. Oh, and a ball to the face. Miss Null, one of Basha's key players, taking a swift kick to the face. Now, those are extremely painful. Getting hit in the nose in general is no fun, but she took it like a champ.
And that was a rough one.
Stood right back up, said, "I'm fine, I don't care."
I'd probably need a few minutes to cry, but...
Well, we all know you would, but it's okay, buddy. Checking for blood. Let's hope those white jerseys don't get stained.
And movement down this field onto Mesquite's side. This is imperative to Basha's victory, being able to score in these next a little bit more than 5 minutes.
Ball back in play. Miss Knoll, who actually just got kicked in the face, kicking the ball to start the play again. Possession back with Mesquite. The ball is back in midfield as usual. There's a fight for the ball. We'll see who takes possession. Basha taking possession of the ball, moving the ball forward upfields. Oh, okay. Had a little bit of a twist of a mix-up with legs. Couldn't really see who had that right there, but the ref is deciding it's Bash's ball. Miss Knoll taking the kick once again. We'll see if she can get it to someone who will make an effective play off of it. Ball moving closer and closer to the goal line. Okay, there we go. Girls getting really hyped on the sideline. I like to see that energy gets the girls going, gives them the motivation that they need. Looks like we're gonna have a penalty kick coming up right now. Miss Knoll taking the penalty kick against Mesquite's Darchwinski, who has been proving to be a very effective goalie tonight. We'll see how strong of a goalie she is right now. Knoll kicking right now. And a nice save from Darchwinski, moving the ball quickly back into Basha's turf. But a nice attempt from Basha's Knoll.
That could have changed the game right there.
That could have ended the game right there. But 3 more substitutions on Basha's side. We'll see if those substitutions can make a change in the last 4 minutes of the game. If not, it looks like we're going into overtime, folks.
And Basha starting with possession from the sideline, throws it in.
Mesquite at the sideline, clearly trying to keep the ball as far away from their goal as possible, but Basha just pounding the ball forward and forward relentlessly. It doesn't look like either team's going to be giving up for the last 4 minutes, which is good because, like I keep on saying, any little amount of time is enough time to change the game completely.
Basha trying to get it as close to the goal as possible, fighting in these final minutes to get the lead.
Jessica Larson, who I've been also talking about tonight, almost getting the ball where it needs to be. A very effective player for Basha. I've been pleased to see how Basha has been progressing throughout the game. I mean, they were lacking communication, but it's been getting better. If anything, the adults or the parents have been doing the communicating for them. I hear a lot of talking on the parent side of the Basha stands.
I think that both teams have improved significantly since the beginning of the game, which was kind of a slow start.
Yeah, it's true, and it's something that coaches tell you should not have happen. You want to start strong and finish strong, but it's okay.
On a substitution, Akira Thornton is sent onto the field,
which I like to see. As I talked about earlier, Akira Thornton was some of the most footwork and technique that I saw tonight. Let's see if she can make a play and get the ball in. I've known her for many years, an effective player for Basha. With her neon green cleats, I love the different color soccer cleats. I think they're so cool. On a completely random fact,
right close to the very close
to the Mesquite side. We'll see if Basha can win this game in the last 2 minutes.
And 2 minutes. Once again, 2 minutes is all that's left with a tied score. If you're just tuning in between Basha and Mesquite. Mesquite making a drive, but it's out, and it looks like it's going to be Basha's possession.
These last 2 minutes really need to go Basha's way if they want things to go well tonight. I'd like to see the ball stay on Mesquite's side of the field for the rest of the half. It'd be good pressure, and I think we could see a goal happening. But if not, we'll see you guys in overtime. Where hopefully we can clutch a victory.
Both teams are just playing their hearts out.
I know. Mesquite's really just, as much as Basha's pushing, Mesquite's doing just as much back. Seeing a bunch of ups and downs, a lot of falls, but neither team giving up. Both relentlessly pushing. As I hear right behind me, I have agreements. It's looking like it's going into overtime.
Yeah, about a minute left. Unless something crazy happens here, overtime is inevitable. Mesquite gets the ball on their side of the field, sending it back down to Basha. So, well, it seems that we're at another little stalemate here. What do you expect once we go into overtime? Assuming that we do.
Well, assuming that we do, which it's looking like we are, with 30 seconds left in the game, guys. Yeah, it's looking like it is going to be going into overtime. I could see it going to penalty kicks. Statistically speaking, it does happen to go into penalty kicks.
5 minute break, 10 minutes.
And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As the second half comes to a close, we'll see you at overtime.
High school girls soccer.
Hello and welcome back to Sports360AZ.com. Tonight we are live streaming the varsity soccer game at Basha High School. I'm Maxwell Parisi.
And I'm Nick Pfeiffer, and we've had a very interesting game so far. We are actually going into overtime right now. Basha Mesquite 1-1 tied game. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. The game so far has been a little bit not as a good.
Basically, it's been at a stalemate the entire game. I mean, for
lack of a better words.
For those who missed the beginning of the game, it was rather slow with a lot of interruptions, a lot of out of bounds. But I'd
say that there's been more play or more. The ball has been out of field more than has been in field, which is not fun, to be honest, for the spectators. But it's part of the game. It happens. The game, though, towards the end definitely started picking up. The momentum gradually started escalating. I'm excited to see how the girls play with this break, see if they can come in with the clutch. clutch win for Basha, or if Mesquite's going to come with another victory and go home undefeated.
So, for those who aren't too sure with the rules of soccer, would you like to explain how overtime works?
Oh, well, I found out that girls' high school soccer does not do penalty kicks. So it is going to be 2 10-minute rounds or 10-minute sessions of an overtime, or 2 periods.
And despite whoever scores, both 10-minute sessions will have to happen. So stay tuned for another 20 or so minutes. So, what outcome do you expect so far, Nick?
Well, honestly, I don't feel like I should be giving my guess because my previous outcome was surely incorrect. So as of now, my guess is that there's not going to be a score within the first 10 minutes. I think that if anything happens, it'll be in the last 7 minutes of the game. I don't know why I'm estimating the last 7, but yes, the last 7. And I am thinking that if Basha does not score within the last 7 minutes, Mesquite will score within the last 3 minutes.
Well, so who are you expecting to win this one?
I wish I could give you my clear opinion, but my opinion has just been changing off and on this entire game. Just from what I've been seeing, the performance has been gradually changing, and I've been seeing so many different substitutions. I really haven't been able to have a set opinion, but so yeah, I'm actually just gonna leave it with I don't know. What about you? Do you have any? What do you think?
Well, I would have said Mesquite the entire way, even after they tied it. But with the immediate spike in aggressiveness that Basha showed after their goal, I got to go with Basha on this one.
And Basha's leaders on the team, I wasn't seeing very much communication, but the leadership on Basha's team has really stepped up. I think that has to do with that halftime. They got a nice motivational speech. I know, but at the same time, they stepped up their game. They're working hard. It definitely feeds the rest of the entire team. So it's exciting to watch, especially that I see a Basha alumni face down on the field. It's nice to have an old supporter there to pep you up.
Yeah, and 2 captains on Basha, Lauren Hatchett and Alea Carrasco are both powerhouses on the field, but the communication is a bit lacking. So let's hope that they can either...
Well, as the girls return from the field, we will see who's going to be taking possession first. Looks like refs got to get one good final fist pump in before we commence the first part of the overtime.
$10 minutes. Not a lot of time to make a huge dent.
But just enough time if you really need to use the restroom.
Not if you're up here in the box. So if you had to give either team any advice as they go into overtime, what would you give them?
I wouldn't want somebody to ask me for advice when it came to women's soccer by any means, but if you were to ask me for my advice, I would tell you communication. You need to communicate out on the field. You need to be verbal. You should see more passing, but you want to see controlled passing. It seems like there's been a lot of uncontrolled kicking, and it's been going in and out of bounds off and on. That's not what you want to see. You want to see the control and the progression of the game. So I would tell them, control the ball, communicate as a team, do what you practice and set it into play and execute. And that's all they really can do. We'll see how it progresses. The girls are hopping on the field right now, so I'm excited to see what happens. And if I were to give Mesquite any advice, I would say don't let up. You've been pressuring Basha all night. Offense, keep up. Defense, keep it up. And just don't stop. Keep on pushing to the final minute. Both sets of teams skidding on the field. We're about to commence into the final part of the game.
It appears though Mesquite is starting off with the ball. And this might just prove to be a fatal play for...
Now what makes you say that?
Well, they look intense and look like they're going straight for the goal.
You're 100% right. Had the ball made contact to its intended receiver, I guess I could say, Miss Auerkamp, who was supposed to be taking possession of the ball right there, who has possession right now. trying to make a play for Mesquite. We'll see if she can make something happen.
Both teams fighting for the ball.
Yeah, exactly. It is a fight. I'm seeing a lot of bumping and shouldering and good aggression though. It's what needs to be out there. I don't want to see a bunch of people just lollygagging around, should I say? Basha putting the ball back out of bounds.
I try and spend as much time out of as little times out of bounds as possible in this this final overtime 20 minutes.
Okay, now what doesn't make sense to me is Basha's number 11, Lauren Hatchett, one of their key players of tonight, in my opinion, and I would say Max would agree with me.
And team captain.
Yeah, has been playing very, very well and is not in the game at the moment. You can see she's waiting to be subbed in, but I would have seen her starting the game, trying to get the momentum right off the bat where it needs to go. Obviously, though, that's why I'm not the coach. There's obviously another strategy behind this, but Mesquite does have possession of the ball right now, and we'll see what's happening right now. Mesquite throwing it in. Basha trying to take possession of the ball and get it out of the goalie box.
Mesquite gaining some control.
Mesquite gaining control because of Miss Green really pushing forward with power kick after power kick. She's just not letting up.
Mesquite trying to bring it back to get a goal. Basha just not letting them get it. They're definitely playing strong defense.
And like I said earlier, Basha's goalie, Miss Humphreys, putting herself out in front of that ball every time she needs to, really being an aggressive goalie, which is important. Mesquite's goalie, no disrespect, who's been doing a great job, but just hasn't been tested as much tonight. Haven't really been able to see her aggressiveness, but I've definitely been able to see it with Miss Humphreys.
And that's one of the major wild cards of this game, is we have no idea how good Darshweski is.
Well, at this point, I'd say it's a little too late to find out. It really comes down to the players and how far they're willing to go to make something happen. Mesquite pushing for the ball to, well, I say pushing, and it's out of bounds once again. Basha taking possession of the ball, trying to make a play happen. I can see some communication happening right now. Play didn't seem to go as planned. Mesquite taking possession of the ball, driving upwards. We see Mesquite's Miss Larson driving up left field. Ball is out of bounds. Basha Mesquite taking control. Furking throwing it in. We'll see if they can make something happen right now.
And just under 7 minutes left in the first overtime session. This game is bound to have an intense conclusion.
Okay, ball is back in play on Basha's side within the outer goalie box. Hannah kicking. Basha's Hannah Householder kicking the ball out of Basha's territory, making a nice save.
Ashley Gwiecki throwed it in, sorry. Basha trying to bring it back down to Mesquite's territory.
Yeah, Basha making a play on the ball right now. Miss Larson of Basha trying to make a play with Miss Brown. Miss Brown has been one of Basha's key effective forwards of the game tonight, really pressuring Mesquite's defense. With the help of Basha's defense as well. Basha's defense has been doing a great job of trying their best to keep the ball as far away from their goal box as they can.
And this overtime 10-minute session is just about half over. So
looks like we have some substitutions about to take place as well. We'll see if these substitutions can make a play or make a change in the game. Ooh.
And for Basha so far, substitutions have proved to be a great strategy.
Oh, okay. Basha's
quite a fall.
Quite a little mix-up. Mesquite,
Jaden
Green still down, just now standing up. I hope she's feeling all right.
And she recovered. Let's hope that
Okay,
she's
all
feeling
right. Well, so we stopped the game though. It looked like a knee injury is what I think I saw. Maybe a slide tackle or something.
Well, I hope she's okay. And did you catch who that little debacle was with?
I did not. I'm guessing it was one of Bash's defenders. It could have been Lauren Hatchett or Karen Lambert. But either way, we have an aggressive overtime taking place right now. Miss Knoll of Basha, about halfway on the field, with a nice kick, putting the ball back on Mesquite's side. Basha trying to make a play upfield. I'm seeing some communication. It seems like they actually have a play in mind that they're trying to make happen. Basha's number 8, Miss Ruelas, who I have not seen too much of tonight, or I have not seen with the ball too much, almost had a play on the ball right there. We'll see if she can come back and make something happen as she almost comes back down the field with the ball.
For those of you just tuning in, this is Sports360AZ.com's Basha versus Mesquite girls soccer game.
Okay, Hannah Householder, who I was talking about as a key defensive player, just moved her way up to offense. Almost got herself into a position to score a goal, but aggressive play led to both of them on the ground. The ball's still on Mesquite's side. This is probably the longest amount of time I've seen Basha controlling the ball on Mesquite's side of the field. Nice to see. Basha's captain, Alea, taking control of the ball, sending it to her forward. Mesquite quickly bunting it out.
Mesquite seems to be a lot more organized.
Mesquite seems much more organized and disciplined, but you can tell that the randomness of Basha's offense is throwing them off. Either throwing them off or Basha's just getting a little bit lucky with that, but either way, both teams have a very individual playing style, which is important for both of them because it might be the reason that they are at a tie right now.
3 minutes left. Basha won, and Mesquite won. It is all tied up, and we are in overtime.
I hope I'm correct with my guess of there's not going to be any scoring in this first overtime session. I'm thinking it's going to happen next round.
Oh.
Okay.
Basha gaining control, trying to bring it back down the field. And Mesquite shuts it. Oh.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Statement.
I was talking about Basha's freshmen and how they're you can clearly see the size difference. Well, that doesn't seem to make a difference. These Basha girls are going out there and they're not backing down. You can see some clear size differences between the Basha girls and the Mesquite girls. And
right now, midfield, we seem to have an injured player.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to make a difference because Basha just took out one of Mesquite's players for maybe second, third time.
And
Another
that
collision.
is Alexis Egan, who seemed to recover fairly quickly.
Walking it off like a champ.
Once again, tough girls. With a little over 2 minutes left. Not a lot of wiggle room in these final minutes.
Exactly. It's really coming down to the
it's going down to the next overtime
to the wire
session for sure.
I don't feel too much intensity. You'd think by now both sides would be all hyped up and intense, tied game. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna take home the victory? But I don't see too much enthusiasm, which could be affecting the playing. Oh, okay.
Oh, and she is down. Definite aggressive.
That was definitely. I definitely saw some dirty playing on Mesquite's side right there. And
the crowd did too.
The crowd definitely called that out off the bat as we saw Basha's Charlie Kaiser being brought down to the ground.
This kind of aggression is expected. About a minute 50 left. Oh,
okay.
and Basha
right.
making her
Now,
approach towards the goal.
Now we have a real play, and I was seeing some real work from Akira Thornton, who I've been talking about. The footwork is superb. She almost had that close, just not close enough. As she is actually coming back off the field as we speak, we will see if these constant substitutions can make a final difference. Oh, and on a completely... Oh, Basha Basha with possession of the ball on Mesquite's side, trying to make a play, almost getting the ball into the possession of Jessica Larson, trying to put the ball in the net. Didn't quite make it happen, but just close enough to make Mesquite uncomfortable and on edge. Mesquite now with possession of the ball again. Overtime wrapping up with the final 50 seconds. We'll see who's going to take home the victory or possible tie next round. Joining us for 10 more minutes.
Basha definitely making an approach towards the goal.
Yeah,
both teams fighting for it.
It's a relentless struggle of back and forth and back
It's
and
just
forth.
been push and pull the entire game. Both teams can't seem to get the upper leg on the other.
Okay, number 11 for Mesquite, Miss Green. We have not been talking about her too much tonight, but she has definitely been one of their key players. Aggressive, very good offensively and good defensively. Just wanted to point that out and get some credit where it's due. But Basha, number 21, Morgan Johnson, coming down the right side, ending overtime. We are now going to be moving into our second round of overtime. Thank you for joining us, and if you are just now tuning in, we are wrapping up the first round of overtime with a score of 1-1.
So let's recap the game for those of us that just tuned in.
Okay, well, to recap the game, we had a slow, well, I guess you can't say slow, but an awkward kind of start. Mesquite scoring within the first 10 minutes, and after the first goal, it seemed to be a natural stalemate. But Basha scoring a goal, tying up the game towards the end. That definitely changed the momentum of the game, bringing a different level of energy. And now we're just going to have to see if they can break this tie, or if they're going to have to go home with an even score of 1-1.
And just to reiterate, people, this is overtime right now. So we already have our first half of overtime, which is about 10 minutes. We have a 2-minute break between it. But we are about to enter into in about a minute or so.
Now, you asked
final
me,
10 minutes.
and I couldn't really give you the best decision. Now, with only 10 minutes left in the game, from what you've been watching, only based on the first round of overtime, what are you thinking? Who are you seeing is going to make that clutch play?
Offensively, Basha has been very close to getting a goal on multiple occasions. And Mesquite, I'd say they're also pretty close, but Basha's definitely been had a lot more
Exactly.
a lot more drive. You know,
it's funny how it changes, like, because Mesquite, I would say, had more drive during the game itself, but then as we get into overtime and stuff, Basha definitely, it was like a polar 360 and change of pace. But definitely tying the game has something to do with that, if you ask me.
One slip up on Mesquite, in my opinion, is probably going to cost the game.
Well, it easily could have just cost them a tie. Not that a tie is the worst thing in the world, but I know for me, I never like going home undecided. Everybody wants to know who the winner is. So these last 10 minutes, I want to see these girls go out there and really give it their all. I want to see who has what it takes and who's the better team. Let's see who's going to go home the victor. Round 2 starting right now. Mesquite Basha 1-1. Girls about to take the field. Let's see what happens. And once again, thanks for joining us and listening tonight, guys.
Basha takes the field. It appears as though they'll be on the left side. Basha
starting off with possession of the ball for second round. Miss Riley Mitchell and it looks like Dakota Fisher taking the ball at the midfield right now. Commencing round 2. Start now. There we go. Okay. Basha with the ball, driving the ball forward. Mesquite automatically heading the ball out of their territory, trying to make a play up the sideline. We'll see if they can keep the ball in bounds, which they didn't.
A lot of out of bounds playing.
Yeah.
Very early on in the game.
And do you have any idea of why that is?
Girls are tired. I mean, this far in the game, they definitely do have the drive, but their bodies are physically tired. All right, so
another butt kick towards middle.
Trying to get it on the other side.
Yeah, just trying to change the power shift.
A lot of headbutting going on.
Yeah, a lot of headbutting, but it would be more effective if the headbutts could lead to a play. They're not really starting any plays. It's just kind of a play will start and then it stops, and it'll start and it'll stop. Let's see if one of these girls can make a difference real quick. I mean, we only have 9 minutes left.
As Mesquite starts off with the ball, preparing to kick it midfield.
Mesquite forwards preparing to receive the ball. Miss Larson of Mesquite trying to drive the ball up, trying to just get the ball towards Basha's side so that they can actually try to make a play on the ball. I've not seen that happen. Basha's keeping complete control, definitely due to the fact that the communication levels are 100% more open than they previously were. I can see the girls communicating on the field, Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definite better communication. Let's just hope that's enough to
win
them
the
the game. Yeah. So Basha starting off with the ball again on their side.
Miss Lamb going up the right side of the field, putting a bunt kick up front center. We'll see if
this could be the
the kick. Oh, Miss
and
Larson going in, trying to make that final victory.
And Darshweski once again getting the ball before it goes in the goal.
Well, like you said, we wouldn't be able to see Darchwinski in her prime. Well, we've been testing her we've been testing her in these overtimes, and she's definitely been holding her own.
I'm not sure if we've really been testing her. She's had a few easy, but I mean, for all we know, she could be one of the best goalies in the state. But she hasn't had an opportunity to prove herself. And
very
for Basha's
true,
sake,
but
I hope she doesn't.
But it looks like a change of pace happening on the field. I haven't been seeing too much of Mesquite on Basha's side during overtime, but Mesquite putting the ball in Basha's goal line, taking possession, making an attempt on the ball. I'm not seeing. Okay, ball in the air. Ooh,
Closest we
Mesquite
came to a goal yet.
Mesquite's Miss Auerkamp making an actual legit nice attempt on the goal, almost making the score 2-1 Mesquite. So close, but just couldn't make it happen.
And we are about 7 minutes, with about 7 minutes left in the second
Well, there we go.
part of overtime. Tensions are rising.
Okay, all right, let's... Miss Johnson rushing up the field from Basha up left side. You can clearly see she has her hustle on right now. She wants to make something happen. I haven't been seeing like a play set up. You can usually tell when girls are about to be planning something or they have something set up for making a goal or an assist. Haven't really been seeing that. I'm hoping that we can see a possible...
Ooh, down
okay.
goes Frazier.
Yeah, down goes Frazier with a nasty layout. To me, that looked more like a football hit than a soccer encounter. But she just got up like nothing happened. So,
and to clarify, Frazier is not the player's actual name. It is actually Mrs. Riley Michelle.
Both of Basha's captains on the sideline right now. I wonder what the reasoning behind that is. I believe one of them is, I believe Miss Alea is possibly minorly injured. I cannot... And a goal from Basha High School.
That could just be the game.
I believe that was Miss Johnson from Basha, one of the young blondes that I was talking about, that I was saying... Size does not matter. She went in there. She made something happen. Scored 2-1 Basha. Oh.
And nothing makes me happier than saying "I told you so," Nick. We got that one. We both called Basha.
I told you so. I said
we both called Basha.
That's true.
Why can't we both be right?
I called Basha. I said within 5 minutes, and it was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. That's crazy.
All right, so
let's see if Basha can hold it though. Now for the next 5 minutes and 30 seconds, Basha winning.
Time. It is crunch time. And for those of you just tuning in, this is double overtime. Bears 2, Mesquite 1 with about 5 minutes left on www.sports360az.com.
See, now this is where it gets fun, because in football, they just start spiking the ball by now. They don't have to... There's only about a minute left. But these girls, they have to fight for the very last few seconds of this game. They have to keep on pushing.
And it is out of bounds with 5 minutes left. This is half over. So you think Mesquite can pull it together?
To be honest, I'm not seeing it look in their favor. I think Basha just took the victory. I'm very pleased with Basha right now. Not the strongest start, but they obviously came with a strong finish. Now let's see if they can just take that victory.
And it's,
Oh.
and those are some
And a handball.
hands.
It doesn't look like it was a handball. The play must have been called before she had touched it, because they did not call anything on that. It is still in Basha's possession. Looks like we have a substitution on the field, probably explaining why the handball took place.
Bringing in Lauren Hatchett, who has been a star player throughout the game and is a team captain. And out of bounds.
Back out of bounds. See, I just don't understand what the
I
thought
think
process
that
behind
was a
was.
slop. They're getting nervous.
I see.
Obviously, you can tell.
Pressure's getting to them. Looks like we're gonna have a corner. Nope, not a corner kick, but a corner throw in. We're gonna see if Basha can make maybe a third goal. Okay. Oh, Basha's Miss Johnson almost getting in for that third goal, taking a little stumble, but popping right back up. One of the very many attributes I've seen of these girls tonight. They just pop up like nothing happens. Very tough.
Well, as with the game we've seen so far, it's just been a push and pull. They have to be.
3 minutes and 25 seconds left in this game, guys. Basha winning by 1 point. Let's see if they can hold it.
And this is overtime, so there is no chance for Mesquite if they can't.
See, maybe this is where Mesquite's center, what is her name?
Miss Booth.
Maybe this is where Miss
Miss
Booth
15.
was needed. Maybe this is what they were talking about.
You just got to imagine how different the game might have been if she weren't out of the game right now.
Well,
And let's hope a speedy recovery for her.
ball back out of bounds. I think, honestly, probably at least 50 throw-ins in this game tonight. And ball's back out of bounds. Basha taking possession of the ball, not giving up. They want to keep on pushing. These girls are aggressive. They want to finish this game.
Yeah, Bash just wants to prove themselves now. I mean, with a game that they're behind for the majority of and tied for for a little bit less of, now they
And
want to
you're
prove
right.
this is their time to shine.
Mesquite came in, scored on them on their own home field, tested them, probably made them a little bit mad, and Basha wasn't having it, and Basha did what they needed to do and changed the momentum of the game, and now they're winning 2-1, and it looks like Basha's going to go home with a victory tonight.
This is the first time Bash has held the lead the entire game.
Almost,
Mesquite trying to bring it down the field to get a last-minute goal. Bash
a minute 50 seconds left in this game. It's looking like it's going to be coming to an end, but Mesquite is making a play up the right side of the field right now to get into Basha's side. Basha defender Ashley Grant kicking the ball right back out. Good for her. I haven't seen her too much in tonight's game, making good play where it counts. Basha's Miss Johnson helping her out with the assist, pushing the ball forwards.
And just to reiterate, the fat lady has not sang yet. Mesquite still has a chance.
If you call a minute and 18 seconds a long chance, though, I mean...
Well, not a long chance. I'm just saying they have one. Maybe slim.
Very true, very true.
Mesquite is fighting for it, though. You can tell. And it looks to be out. And is that on Basha or Mesquite? I'm not too sure.
It looks like it is going to be Mesquite's ball out on Basha, which is odd to me. I thought I saw that out on Mesquite. No problem, though. Refs see it better than I do. What I do see, and I do agree with you on, is the lack of hustle. You can see these girls are getting tired. These games get tiring. Overtime is never fun for anybody, but you can see they're tiring and they're wearing down.
Well, I can tell you what I see. I see less than a minute left on the clock, so they better get something done.
Oh,
She's going for it.
We see a breakaway with Miss Larson pushing the ball down the field, has 3 defenders following behind. Oh, kicks the ball in, almost makes it, misses, still takes possession of the ball, does not give up. We have 28
Mesquite
seconds
trying
left.
to bring it back down.
25 seconds left in the game. Basha almost making the score 3-1. Basha getting very excited on the sidelines. Parents standing up. I think we have a for sure victory in our sights.
With about 15 seconds left, this seems like a Basha victory.
7,
Basha crowd counting down.
5, 4,
3, 2,
1, 0.
And that's the game. A victory for Basha in overtime. I'm Max. Will Parisi.
And I'm Nick Pfeiffer.
And this is Sports 360 AZ. Thank you for tuning in. And tune in for more games from your CUSD Sports.
You guys have a good one.
Good night.